Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee where I post a new clarinet video every week. In today's video, I am going to give you a few reasons why you may need to get a new mouthpiece. A lot of people don't know that, and a patron actually sent me a mouthpiece and asked if I might have time to fit this video into my schedule, and I thought it'd be perfect for this time of year. So I'm going to get into that in a moment. First, I want to say thank you to all my patrons and channel members for supporting my channel. It's been great getting to know you guys over the past few years, and it means so much. Even just a little bit really means a lot to me, and it really helps me keep this channel going. So if you're not already supporting my channel, just a little bit would help so much. So thank you. All right, so how do you know if your mouthpiece is bad? Here we go. We're gonna just jump right in. First big sign that you need a new mouthpiece is if the tip of the mouthpiece or anywhere on the mouthpiece that makes contact with the reed is scratched, if it is chipped, if it is nicked, it is done. Okay, in all honesty, you could probably go to a mouthpiece craftsperson and have them reface it or something if it's just like a little scratch or whatever, but I do not know what kind of magic they use to do that. And I use Van Doren mouthpieces, and they are not outrageously expensive. So if I do something stupid to my mouthpiece, I just buy a new one because I don't really need to go and pay for somebody to reface it or do something fancy to it. So anyway, any mouthpiece that is broken or damaged in any way is no-go. If you've had the mouthpiece over 5 years, you might want to try a newer version of that same mouthpiece. Sometimes when you've been playing on a mouthpiece for like a long time, right? The inside of the mouthpiece deteriorates because it's hard rubber and your saliva breaks it down and it just kind of like wears out, right? The tip of the mouthpiece wears out from all the vibrations going up against it. So the older a mouthpiece gets, the further away from the original specifications it becomes, and the more difficult it's going to become for you to get a replacement mouthpiece. So make sure that you are either having a mouthpiece person look at it on a regular basis to make sure it's still in good shape, or every few years get a new mouthpiece. So when you're playing, one big thing that is a telltale sign that your mouthpiece is not as great as it once was is articulation. So I was playing a gig a while back, like years ago, and I just could not figure out why my articulation sounded so grunty. And like in my head, my negative self-talk was like, you sound like a fourth grader, ugh, what's going on? And then I looked at the mouthpiece, and the tip of the mouthpiece was all like kind of jagged and stuff from like years of me hitting it against my teeth. And it was just like dented. And also the mouthpiece was like 5 or 6 years old at that point. So articulation problems can be a sign that you need a new mouthpiece. Another big sign that you need a new mouthpiece is you can't find a good reed. And even more telling than that is you need harder and harder reeds. The tip of the mouthpiece gets thin and kind of wears away, and you need harder reeds to kind of balance it out until you get to the point where everything just sounds kind of fuzzy and airy and just bad. So if you get far enough in this process, you're going to feel like your tone is just gross, regardless of embouchure, regardless of your tongue position, regardless of how many long tones you do. You just cannot figure out how to get everything to sound pretty. It will even sound uneven across the registers. So if you try to play a chromatic scale and you have an otherwise pretty good instrument, it shouldn't be buzzy in some registers and airy in others and whistly in some registers and squeaky in others. So it should be pretty similar across the entire range of the instrument. And then the last big thing that may cue you in to needing a new mouthpiece is you're having tuning problems. I had a mouthpiece that it just kept getting flatter and flatter in the throat tones, and it wasn't until I bought or even just tried an updated version of that mouthpiece to realize the old one had just become kind of blown out. So the throat tones were getting flatter and flatter. So just updating, getting the same one, but newer can really help a lot. So those are just a few of the things that can cue you in to needing a new mouthpiece. I think every so often it's good to try new equipment or different equipment anyway. Our bodies change as we grow, and the way we play changes, and so sometimes we may need something a little different anyway. So try not to get too locked into whatever your equipment is for too long, just to see if there's something better out there for you, okay? I hope this helps some of you guys on your journey to finding good equipment. If you guys have anything to add, as always, leave it in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a good week next week, and as always, happy practicing.